I was 400 pounds at one point in my life, back in around 2011. I was in my second year of my PhD. I decided, you know what, I want to start losing weight again. My morning routine, if I got up and walked for an hour, better, I was more awake, I was functioning better in class and everything. I did actually join Noom because I like the idea of they're not putting you on a diet, they're giving you educational materials to
Yeah.
learn what's best for you.
What is better in your experience? Is it a more of a diet? Is it a more of a physical exercise? Is it a sleep? Is it all of it together?
When I got my mental health under control,
Hmm?
everything else kind of slowly clicked. I also focused on my diet, and you don't crash diet. That's what everybody wants to do, is crash diet. Oh, if I lose 5, 10 pounds in a week, I'm doing good. That's not safe.
A lot of time, a lot of people give up because they're like, oh, I'm overweight and I'm not gonna lose weight. And if I lose weight, people are gonna say something.
One of the biggest issues I had was having these people that would, yeah, when I was overweight, they would put me down. Then when I started losing weight, it was, we're going to put you down, but we're also going to claim credit for you doing it.
Yeah.
And it was problematic.
FDA's have approved a drug, right, for weight loss because we know in the US, overweight or obesity is one of the epidemic. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. We have a very special guest. We went to the grad school kind of together. We are Jayhawks, and today we're not here to talk about academics or our PhD journeys, but we are here to talk more about a health related issues and stuff which a lot of people would be wondering and may have a questions or want to do something but do not have a motivation to do. I by myself is into that boat. So today we have a guest, Dr. Pamela Peters. She is assistant professor at Western Illinois University in the School of Media and Communication, and she has taught in different schools before, and her journey transforming her physical and mental health is quite frankly, I do not know any other person personally that I would go to and would ask if I have anything. And she has also recently started her YouTube and her Spotify and Apple podcast. You should check out for that. I will link in the description below, so you can check her own journey, how she has transformed her life over the years. So today we will ask questions which many of you will be looking an answer for, to see how she got a motivation and lifestyle on diet and nutrition and fitness routine and all of that, because I've been trying to lose weight as well over the years, and lose motivation. Sometimes I walk, sometimes I try to run, or sometimes even play pickleball. So today, or 10,000 steps a day, or whatever works. So today we'll ask a question. So Dr. Pamela Peters, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having me. It's nice to see you. It's been a while, so.
Yeah, thank you. So, just tell us, like, what I've been watching your YouTube as well to get prepared for this interview, and overall, been following your work, and you're amazing photographer. You have won a lot of awards, but today, let's dive into a little bit your physical transformation journey. What was the turning point?
I'm still asking myself that question in a lot of ways. I've actually, I'm still in the beginning of it, but um, I was 400 pounds at one point in my life, back in around 2011. And I actually wanted to lose weight. Mainly at that time, I wanted to do more photography. I'm a nature and wildlife photographer. And I realized being 400 pounds, I can hike, but it makes it very difficult to do some of the things that I wanted to do. So I actually, by 2014, had dropped down to about 200 pounds, 220. And then I started overworking. I was working 60 to 80 hours a week at one of my last jobs. So I started overworking, started doing some, not so great things health wise. I would still go out and hike and lift weights, but I was eating a lot. So weirdly enough, when I started working on I was in my second year of my PhD, I decided, you know what, I want to start losing weight again. And as you know, PhD is stressful enough, probably not the time to start doing something
No,
else along
absolutely.
with it.
That's the time
Um,
when we gain weight, not to get motivation to lose weight. Yes.
exactly, exactly. But, it was just kind of one of those things that something in me was like, and part of it was I was told by a friend who had done a PhD. She's like, give yourself breaks, do some other stuff. So I just kind of started in the afternoon, I'd go for walks. And then I realized my morning routine, if I got up and walked for an hour,
Mm,
my morning routine was better. I was more awake. I was functioning better in class and everything. So it just kind of rolled into that. I've never done a weight loss program before. I've never done surgery or any of that, but I did actually join Noom because I like the idea of they're not putting you on a diet, they're giving you educational materials to
you.
learn what's best for you.
Mm,
So I just kind of built through them doing research. And slowly it just kind of became something, originally it was just I want to lose a few pounds, and it's like I want to get down to around 140, 150 pounds. Because ultimately I was like, I want to run a 5K.
mm.
Um, and it's just kind of built from there. Now I sometimes question if I'm a little bit too caught up in it. Sometimes I have to back off, but yeah, I don't really know what truly inspired me, other than the desire to be able to do the things I want to do as a nature photographer.
Yeah, amazing. Because I have seen a lot of your photography, and it's absolutely amazing and stunning. Honestly, it does not feel like it's a human taken picture. It seems like more of a technology took a picture for us. So thank you for sharing your insights. So what is better in your experience? Is it a more of a diet? Is it a more of a physical exercise? Is it a sleep? Is it all of it together? What is it which actually helped you the most losing weight?
It's a little bit of everything, but honestly, for me, when I got my mental health under control,
Mm,
everything else kind of slowly clicked. So one of the issues I struggled with, I've always been somewhat of a people pleaser,
mm,
but which kind of got me in some weird positions with some people. So being a people pleaser can sometimes get you into a position where people will take advantage of you.
yes.
And for me, I got into some situations where I was almost borderline mentally abused.
Mm,
Didn't realize it, but when I took recognition of, you know what, these people aren't supportive,
mm,
and to get out of those relationships, then I started kind of focusing on me. It also helped. It was weirdly working on my PhD made me more confident to realize, you
mm.
know what, I don't need these people. I'm smart enough and intelligent enough to do it on my own. Um, but then, once I kind of took control of that, then it was kind of just focusing on um, getting some exercise. And
Mm,
everybody thinks you have to do really intense exercise. When I started, I would go walk for 20, 30 minutes.
mm,
Um, because that's sometimes all I could do.
mm.
I also focused on my diet, and you don't crash diet. That's what everybody wants to do, is crash diet. Oh, if I lose 5, 10 pounds in a week, I'm doing good. That's not safe.
Yeah.
Um, Now, depending on your weight, when I weighed a lot more, I could lose a lot of weight fast.
Mm,
It's natural to do that. Sometimes it's water weight.
yeah.
But I started focusing on, okay, if I'm burning this much, then I should only be consuming this much. But the other thing I also realized was, when I would go on diets before, I would never treat myself. And you get so consumed with wanting sugar or wanting
Yes.
that one thing. So I learned it's okay to do that.
Mm,
And the nice thing is, eventually sleep clicks. And sleep, I still notice it now more than even I did dieting.
mm,
When I don't sleep, I'm really hungry.
mm.
And working on a PhD, working as a professor, sometimes you don't get a lot of sleep.
Yeah.
So I still to this day am on a rigid schedule as
Mm,
far as I try to go to bed between 9 and 9:30, because well, right now I just finished my second half marathon, so I'm kind of in a lull period.
Nice.
But when I'm run training, I get up at 4:30 in the morning to go run.
Wow.
Because that way I make sure I get my workout in. Then I have school and I don't have to worry about everything else. Um, so yeah, I go to bed by 9
Yeah.
to get my sleep. And I nap. I do nap a lot in the evenings sometimes. That's when I know I'm not getting enough. Um, and a lot of it comes down to listening to your body. There's nights I'll go to bed at 8 o'clock because my body is telling me I'm tired. We need to go to bed. There's times, like this past weekend, my body was telling me I needed to eat a little bit more.
Mm.
And you start to learn, and it takes time, you start to learn when you're actually hungry or it's boredom hungry
Yeah.
and how to kind of go about that. It takes time. Um, but the biggest thing for me was actually the mental health, but also learning not to punish myself
Yeah.
if I got off track.
Yeah.
Um, because so many people do that. It's like, oh, I got off my diet or I didn't do this right, so they give up or they chastise themselves. Don't punish yourself because we're human and you're
Yeah,
gonna get
absolutely.
off. So
Absolutely. So there are three questions out of that. One is I was dropping my friend at the airport a few weeks ago, and going around like 5 a.m., and I saw three people running on the road. And I was like, how these people get motivation to wake up? I was not even motivated to give a ride to my friend to the airport. So what is the biggest motivation to wake up that early? And then other question is like kind of related to mental health. Like you struggle with that, but like as your physical health improves, it does improve your mental health as well, or vice versa. So how do you kind of reconcile, or how did you work on that, taking care of your mental health as well as your physical health? But before you answer that, what is the motivation?
it's it becomes motivation.
Mm-hmm.
So my motivation was my goal, like I say, originally was to run a 5K.
Mm-hmm.
Then it just kind of built up. Now my ultimate goal is before I turn 45, I want to run a marathon. Well, it's hard to fit half marathon and marathon training into a day at any job.
Yeah.
So I keep notes around my house, like with goals of this is what I want to accomplish.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a mental note, but it's really sometimes you're not motivated to get up and run, but if, and it's not, it's one of those, you can miss a workout, but if you miss one, are you going to keep missing them and does it
Yeah.
become a domino effect?
Yeah.
And there are times I miss workouts because my body's telling me not to.
Yeah.
Um, so it more is a habit.
Mm-hmm.
You develop it into a habit, and that habit kind of drives your motivation.
Yeah.
It's weird. So you start by being motivated to develop the habit, and then the habit drives the motivation. It's kind of like this circle effect. Because like
Yeah.
right now, this morning my alarm went off at 5 a.m. and like I say, I'm in this lull period. I laid in bed for half an hour and just played with my cat because I'm like, I don't want to get up and do anything. And I wasn't running this morning. I still got up and walked for an hour.
Nice.
Um, because I still do something
Yeah.
to keep active. So yeah, it's really those goals and setting those goals and whatever it is. And for me, getting up that early, that's the best time for me to fit in my training. Plus, as we get into summer, because trust me, running in the winter at that time, it's not fun. I go to the
And
gym a lot
Kansas,
now.
in Kansas, yes, in a
Well,
rural.
yeah, and in Illinois, it's colder
Yeah.
than Kansas, so
Yeah.
so I go to the gym a lot then, and actually the harder motivation there is when I have to do my long runs on a track or a treadmill because I hate that. Um, but I think it's one of those you experience the end result once.
Mm.
And because I have people all the time, why do you want to go back and run a half marathon? You thought it was crazy the first time. I'm like, because I experienced it and I'm ready to do it again. I don't know why. It's just so that's kind of how the motivation goes. It's about developing that habit.
Yeah. And for
The
the
other
mental and
one,
yeah, for the mental and the physical health, because a lot of time, a lot of people give up because they're like, oh, I'm overweight and I'm not gonna lose weight, and if I lose weight, people gonna say something, and like that stigma to it does
Mhm.
kill your motivation, or and as a overweight person, you cannot do many things, but on the other hand, becoming that person who enjoys stuff and things like that, it's not that easy because it's to keep up with your mental health is difficult during these times, or like being in academia
Mhm.
or overall. So and our routine is flexible, but that's also a bad thing sometimes, right? Like you can do
Right.
things like whenever you want, but then you like feel like, "Oh, I don't want to open my laptop at 10 p.m." Right? So how did you keep up with that mental and physical health?
So the way I handle my mental and physical health, so first with everything that is going on in the world, and I teach news, I
Mhm.
still limit my news consumption. Like I know what's going on,
Yeah.
but I have certain outlets that I limit that because otherwise it can become consuming, it
Yeah.
becomes nerve-wracking. But the biggest thing I did, because one of the, like I've kind of talked about, one of the biggest issues I had was having these people that would, yeah, when I was overweight they would put me down. Then when I started losing weight, it was, we're going to put you down, but we're also going to claim credit for you doing it.
Yeah.
And it was problematic. So it is okay to separate from that.
Mm.
um and I did. There are people that I just said, you know what, this isn't healthy for my life, I'm
Mm.
going to separate from that. And what it actually did was it helped me mentally get over that block.
Mm.
But then your mental health kind of drives your physical health. And what also helped with that, speaking of that, is I had a core support group.
Mm.
So I developed, and I'm actually going to be doing a show on this in a couple weeks. I developed a core group of people that we weren't close as far as physically, but like every morning or at least once a week, I would text them and be like, "Hey, I dropped this weight." And whenever I had a big thing to celebrate, I would tell them. And you have that group that they're not in it for them, they're there to support you.
Yeah.
And you go to that group because that kind of overcomes the naysayers. But what it ends up doing, yeah, you do start feeling as you go through it, the first weeks and months can be horribly frustrating because you're not losing the amount of weight you wanted, or you're not feeling you're where you should be. But, everybody moves at a different pace.
Yeah.
Like I say, I didn't start running until May of 2023.
Mm.
I had never ran a mile without stopping in my life till June of 2023.
Mm.
So when I lost most all the weight, it was, and for the record, you usually don't lose weight running. I'm actually also trying to lose a little bit of weight right now because you gain weight long distance running. But, you know, my whole weight loss period, I did some weightlifting, but most of it was going out. I'd go out on a trail every day and walk.
Mm.
And I did it a couple times a day because the other thing that I know about myself, and it's true for a lot of people, getting out in nature
Yeah.
is relaxing and
Yeah.
it's good
It
for your
is.
mental
It
health.
is. Absolutely. Absolutely. I did that in Kansas for a year, and that was the best time ever. Even I have a treadmill at home, and I don't enjoy that, honestly. I just want to
Mhm.
go on a walk outside. It's so amazing.
That's why winter's so tough for me. But
Yeah.
I will still get out and do it. But yeah, so what I ended up doing was, it's like I say, working on my dissertation, I would every day at 1 o'clock,
Mm.
I'm going to take a break and go walk for 30 minutes. Then, usually about 5, 6 p.m., depending on what time of year it was, I would go walk for 30 minutes or an hour. Um, because it was about giving myself a break from the stress of doing a dissertation. It was about giving myself a chance to get out in nature and mentally reset. Um, I personally don't recommend, I know some people do it. If you're going to go out in nature, don't wear headphones and
Yeah.
music. When I run, I wear headphones and music because I can't listen to myself run.
Yeah.
But if I go hiking or go for a walk, I don't do that.
Yeah.
Because it's a mental reset. And so what you're actually doing is you're helping your mental health, you're
Mm.
helping your physical health, and you're reducing your stress.
Yeah.
Um, so and as you keep doing it, it takes about, the research that I've seen says it takes about 30 to 60 days to create a habit.
Mm.
So if you make yourself get out and do it every day, it's eventually going to become a habit to the point. Yesterday I was traveling. I didn't go walk anywhere, and I got up this morning, like I said, I laid in bed, but I knew I needed to because I was like, I haven't walked in two
Yeah.
days. So you get to the point where you have to be careful because you almost feel guilty
Yes.
if you don't do it.
You don't do it. Yes, absolutely. So you a couple of times you mentioned that your body was telling you you're hungry, or your body was telling you not to do it, or do it. How do you listen to your body?
It takes a while. So I'm a boredom eater. So when I'm bored or watching TV or I'm just sitting in my office sometimes, I'll pull something out.
Hmm.
So sometimes you if you start what I ended up starting to do was I kind of eat on a time basis. So I eat like every 3 hours. But even then, there's still times you're hungry. And part of that is I keep a food log. And what's great, not that I'm promoting them, but Noom actually has a food log that you can do without actually
Mm,
paying for the application. So I can keep track of my calories,
mm,
and I'll even look if I'm really hungry, I may look and first I'll ask myself, when's the last time you ate?
mm,
What did you eat? And I may even look and see this is where I'm at on calories. It's okay.
mm,
But if you are boredom eating, then keep foods around that are easy access that are healthy.
mm.
So like this is normally when I would eat lunch, but I knew I wasn't going to eat lunch, so I was going to eat lunch late, so I had an apple before we came on because I would just want to make sure my metabolism and my blood sugar is good and everything. Um, but it takes a while to figure it out. But first thing I'll also ask is, am I just wanting to eat because I'm bored? Because I'm sitting
Yeah.
here doing something. So
Yeah.
one of the techniques I learned was if you can, it's hard in my office, but at home, don't eat in the same place you do your work
Mm.
because then your body naturally tells you, oh, I'm sitting here, so it's okay for me
Yes,
to
and
eat.
just to grab something. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I try to eat in a different spot. So when I was doing my PhD, I lived with my parents. So I was literally working in my house and in my bedroom. So I had my desk and I would make it a point if I did lunch, I would eat either out at the dining room table or if I had to eat in my room, I would eat in the bed. Doesn't sound great, but I would eat sitting in the bed so I wasn't eating in the same place I was working. Um, but like I say, even if you're going to eat, just have something healthy around that
Mm.
you can snack on. And that's not saying it's not bad to have a piece
Yeah.
of chocolate or whatever, but just
Mhm.
limit it. As far as listening to my body when it comes to running, um, I'm notorious for injuring myself because I overwork. So, you know, you'll feel little twinges and here and there, and you begin to develop an understanding of is it my muscles are sore or is it actually something worse than that? It's hard to describe
Yeah.
without you having experienced it, but usually you'll notice if it's just your muscles are sore because you can still move, everything's fine. Like right now my hamstrings are really tight from running. um so when they're starting to get tight, I massage them, I stretch them a lot.
Mm.
But you just have to be careful, and I do tell people if you have a question on it, talk to your doctor.
Yeah.
I am not that type of doctor, so I can't advise on that, but I every so often will contact my doctor just to make
Mm.
sure I'm
So things are.
getting it right.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely. So how much weight you have lost so far?
so I went from 400 to I'm maintaining right around 145 to 150.
And
um
yeah, so right now they're saying that FDA is have approved a drug, right, for weight loss, because we know in the US overweight or obesity is one of the epidemic.
mhm,
And a lot of credit goes to our McDonald's, right? A lot of the food which is like cheap, but like we don't blame people for that because of their their economic or financial conditions and all
mhm.
of that, or stresses they have in their lives. So for you, what was the biggest challenge in this whole journey? And just for the viewers or listeners, you didn't take any drugs, you didn't go through any surgery, but you are an embodiment that what is possible.
Yeah, and to just to say something on that, I thought about it.
Mm,
I couldn't afford it.
mm.
And I don't hold anything against anybody that does that because sometimes that's
Only
maybe the only
option,
option you
yeah.
have, definitely. And Yeah, same thing with the fast food. That may have been fast food, and I'm not saying you have to give it up. That was just a personal choice for me. I gave up, for the most part, gave up fast food. Actually, recently I had somebody bring me some fries from a fast food place. That was the first time I had fries from a fast food place in 2 years. It didn't taste good to me.
Yeah, of course.
Um,
That's good that your
so
taste buds are saying like, yeah, no.
yeah, and I mean, I still go out. Like I said, I make it a point to go out at least once a week or once every 2 weeks. I go out, but I go to a sit down restaurant. That's just like I say, there's nothing wrong because fast food
Yeah,
places you can find, you can create healthy options.
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Um, but for me, I when I was going and working on my master's and when I was at my last school, yeah, it was so much easier just to go to fast food and grab fast food. It was more economic in a lot of ways. Um, economically, I could afford it better.
Yep.
And I was one, I would go get like something and I could make a 3 meals out of some of the meals you can get at some of these places. Um, and I finally just decided, when I started doing this, I just decided, you know what, I'm going to give it up for a couple months and see how it works.
Mhm.
And then I'll kind of maybe I'll build back into it. And I never even, I can't say I never really did, but I never really got the desire to go back.
Mm.
Um, even the one time I had, because literally I can tell you from the point I started till now, the two times I've had fast food, that's it.
Mm.
Um, and it wasn't, again, it wasn't, I love Wendy's,
Yeah.
but, and when I moved to where I'm at now, that was what we ended up getting for lunch because it was quick and easy access and the kids would eat it when my brother helped me move. And it was all right, but even I remember sitting there and it's like this just, you know, doesn't taste great.
Yeah.
Um so yeah, one thing you do notice after a while your taste buds change.
Mm.
Um
Yeah.
so I always liked fruit and vegetables. I eat more fruits and more varieties of fruit and vegetables than I ever did before.
Mm.
I'm open to trying more of that. Um, I don't, I made a personal decision like 10, 15 years ago. The first time I started losing weight, not to eat red meat.
Mm.
Um, and the few times I've tried since, to go back, it hasn't been good. I essentially get food poisoning.
Mm.
And I have to tell
Yes,
people
yes. I
I
had
don't
that
have the tick.
incident as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I tell people I don't have the tick disease that some people have.
Mm.
It's just because my body's adjusted to not having
Yeah.
all that type of meat. I still do chicken, turkey, fish. Um and I'm not saying it's wrong to have it. It's just that's what I did and I also, your body essentially a lot of it's portion sizing because you can even overconsume healthy what we consider healthy foods. So a lot of it was portion sizing.
Yeah.
And it takes your body a while to adjust. When you
Yeah.
start your eating, you're going to be hungry a lot.
Yeah.
Like I say, it's driving me nuts right now. I'm trying to lose about 5 pounds to get back to where I was before I started this half marathon training. And yesterday I'm sitting there and I'm like, I know I've eaten my calories, but I'm still hungry. And I
Agree.
knew it was just my body is readjusting.
Yeah.
Because like I said, when you run, you want to consume everything.
Yeah.
And you
Absolutely.
burn 2,500 to 3,500 calories in a day
Agree.
some
Yeah.
days. So,
Yeah.
um,
So, given all the stressors in our lives and the new drug available, if somebody is naturally trying to lose weight for healthy reasons and want to stay healthy, not like losing weight for the sake of losing it, just like want to stay
mhm.
healthy and enjoy the life more, what would be your advice?
First of all, be patient with yourself. Whether you're trying to start a wellness journey just to be more physically, mentally, and you know, mentally active as well as eating healthy,
Hmm.
be patient with yourself. Take it slow. So many people, whether they jump into a diet or a wellness journey, they think they're so motivated, they're so excited, they just go in full bore, and within a couple weeks, it's like I'm done.
Yeah.
Do it
Because
slowly, build habits.
they think the sprint is gonna work. Like they would cut off everything, and then in 3 weeks they will lose 30 pounds.
That's exactly because that's what society tells us. Oh,
Yeah.
we've got this miracle drug that'll do this. Um, and people think that, and it just doesn't work that way.
Hmm.
Be prepared. Most experts say 2 to 3 pounds at the most a week. Now,
Hmm.
you may see some weeks where you lose 5 pounds, but that's probably water weight.
Yeah.
Um, when I go on my binges around the holidays, um, I've gotten to the point I understand I can gain 5 to 10 pounds, but I know half that's probably water weight
Yeah.
because I eat a lot of salt, and I don't normally eat salt.
Yeah.
Um, so just be patient with yourself. Take your time. Build habits. Um, One of the habits that took me the longest to build, but is probably the best habit, is meal prepping.
Hmm.
So now when I go to work, I don't have to worry about what am I going to take that morning. I've already got it prepped because every Sunday I prep. Um, you know, but build your habits slowly, and don't get mad at yourself if, oh, I was going to go out and walk this morning and it didn't work out.
Yeah.
You know, shift it. You may have to say, you know what, this afternoon after work or 30 minutes on lunch break, I'm going to go for a walk.
Yeah.
Um, that was the biggest struggle for me, was building those habits and forgiving myself in
Yeah.
the process.
Absolutely.
So yeah, it's just take it slow and understand if you want to use 5 to 20 pounds, it may take, and it probably will take maybe not 5 pounds, but 20 pounds. It may take 3 months, and that's okay.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely. So yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Pamela Peters. So today we just talked with her about her weight loss journey or wellness journey, and she's still taking it on. And if you want to know more about her journey, I will link her channel below in the description. You can go online and check, or you can listen to her podcast on Spotify or Apple. Will be available soon. So thank you so much for joining us today, and it was a pleasure talking to you.